Well, welcome to Sunday morning, and we have a new month and a new theme, and our theme today is the Global Heart Vision: beauty, nature, art, and aesthetics. That's what we'll be talking about this month, and the title is today, "We Believe in Eternal, Loving Kindness." Anybody catch any of the Olympics opening ceremony? Anybody see any of that? Wow. I mean, talk about what this world is all about, and our coming together as a world. It was so heart-lifting after this political season that we find ourselves in. And the mudslinging, as it were, or the entertainment, I call it, value of what we're walking through, to see the world come together in the consciousness of creativity and of sport. And, it's all competition, but there's such a love there. There's such a love for each country. And if you saw people coming in, they had the refugees actually have their own, they gave them Olympic flags to wave, that they're still part of everything. Even though they may not have a country that they call their own, they are their own. And someday we're all going to be in that consciousness of, it doesn't matter where we're from or where we're going. We're all citizens of planet Earth. There's really only one of us here. And there's really no competition. But it's fun to see the games. It's fun to watch the sportsmanship and the world records being broken and the people getting their medals, and the look on their faces of achievement is so incredible. There's just nothing like it, and I think it's the perfect balance to what's going on in the world setting with the so-called terrorists are just like, well, it's like the Grinch who stole Christmas. You can't keep love from happening. You can try, you can throw things at it, but love will happen regardless. You can't kill love. Love is the venue in which we live our lives. It is the fish living in the water and asking, where's the water? We live in love as the fish lives in water. So in this teaching, we understand that where we place our attention grows. Energy flows where your attention goes. And what is your attention on? It can be easy in our world today to get caught up in the challenges and to allow those to become our dominant thought pattern. We are at choice, always, as to where we focus our thought, where we place the majority of our attention. What are we thinking about? If a person is what they think about all day long, what is your dominant thought? Is it in solution mode, or is it in challenge mode? And this isn't to judge, it's just to check in. So how do we change it when we find ourselves in constant challenge mode and everything happening to us? Well, there's tools that we have. Prayer, spiritual mind treatment, meditation, visualization. And in this new electronic age, there's some really handy electronic things that we can do spiritually that you may not be aware of. There's this great app called You Pray. You Pray. It's from Unity. And at your fingertips, you can have a meditation an affirmation, and actually somebody pray with you right there online. You pray. Check it out. Look it up. There's also this wonderful meditation site called Calm, C-A-L-M, Calm. It's my favorite app. You press it, and a screen, a movie comes up of a beautiful ocean. And you can change it to whatever you want. They have several. But mine comes up, and it's a beautiful ocean that just the only thing you hear is the water and the waves, and it's on a continual loop of just the waves coming in and out and the sun setting. It never actually goes down, though. It's just at that perfect place where you wish it would stay. And it's something we have available to us, and I'm sure there's hundreds of others. But in this electronic age we find ourselves in, we need to utilize those things in a spiritual way that allow us to connect and use them to contact our higher power, to be at one with what we truly believe. Where we place the majority of our attention is where we live. That then becomes the practice, to choose loving kindness each day by the extending of kindness and forgiving of error. Finding something beautiful to behold. We choose to live not only from the mind, but from the heart, pulsating with deep feeling, as Dr. Holmes says, choosing love again and again, regardless of the situation, choosing love in whatever circumstances may appear. Love is the lodestone of life. Love is what everything is based on. And anything other than love is futility, is to bring us back to love. Every challenge, when looked at deeply, there was love, is love at the root of it. Love is what everything is leading to. Love is what everything is coming from. But it does get misinterpreted, and it does get filtered incorrectly. There is nothing cold or unfeeling about the philosophy of religious science and the practice of the science of mind. Some people think that it's a very plastic feeling because we don't have a Savior, although we do have a Savior. And it's you. You are the Savior. This is partially why some people don't like our philosophy, is that it puts it back on you. Sometimes it's easier to just push it off on some deity and say, well, I'll be saved by them. But we must save ourselves. It must bring some knowledge to the kingdom of heaven into our consciousness of man. Coldness, criticism, unkindness have no place in this philosophy or this science. But love is also forgiveness. Love overlooks the little differences that we have and finds a point of reconciliation with others. Love creates tolerance and human understanding, without which we become really divided against ourselves. If we truly believe there's only one of us here, which I believe is the truth, expressing is the billions of different expressions of the one. Being divided against ourselves, without which we almost unconsciously become filled with criticism, condemnation, and false judgments. No one can be happy or enjoy great fulfillment in life until he comes to see that most people try to do about the best that they can. And when we are able to reach out beyond the indifference and the coldness of life, reach through the intolerance and the unkindness, only then do we meet the divine center, which is forever established within every person. We must reach beyond the blame, the name-calling, the appearance. And this isn't to say that you don't say it like it is, but to continue to call it what you think it is holds the challenge in place. Let us therefore light the candle of love, human kindness, forgiveness, and understanding in our own soul, and let it shine so brightly that whatever we look upon is lit by that truth, by that observation of love. Let us not peer into the darkness, troubled and concerned because it is so foreboding and unknown. Rather, let us remain steadfast in the radiance of the spiritual light that is within each one of us. Look beyond the shadow. Look beyond the challenge. It's not to deny that the challenge is there, but if energy flows where our attention goes and we are concentrating on the challenge, what are we giving energy to? What is growing in our life? You may say, well, I have to point at the challenge or no one else will see it. But after it's pointed out, can we point past it to the truth? If we point at it and continue to point at it, we hold it in place. And then there is no hope for resolution or love. It is to see beyond it, see past the appearance to the underlying truth of the message that it brings. George and Mary Lou walked through some interesting times in the last few weeks, and they're here today. And I want to just say, they can talk to you about whatever their challenges were, but I just want to say, I'm so glad that you guys are here today, because I know that what you've walked through has not been easy, but you kept walking, and I want to salute you guys for that. So, let us stand guard so that the winds of malice, cross purpose, ignorance, or misunderstanding will not blow out the light of our soul. Let us so live each day that the light from our candle of spiritual knowledge will forever be clear and understood, not only by ourselves, by all whom we come in contact with. So how can we practice this eternal loving kindness? And we are given so many opportunities to do that. Just turn on the news. CNN or whatever you like will bring you information. But you're in charge of the clicker. You can also put on the travel channel. But it's up to you to change the channel. How about when driving? This is one of my favorites. You know, when we're driving, we're given so many opportunities because there's a lot of us that are trying to bottleneck into certain places. And there's these double yellow lines that we've painted. You know, those are rules for everybody else, not for me, right? And there's those solid white lines that we're supposed to. But you know, this is one of my favorite spiritual things to do while driving is, come Come on over. Go ahead. Go in front of me. Go ahead. Go ahead. And watch what happens. Watch what happens in taking your foot off the gas. I know. You've got to get there fast. But making enough room so that we can all get to where we're going in a safe and loving way. And watch when you need to be let in, if you have gone too far in a lane and your exit is coming quicker than you thought and you need to get over, what opens up in the universe for you? One of my favorite affirmations when I'm driving is, my way is made open before me. My path is clear before me. And watch what happens. Watch people just get out of your way. It's like the parting of the Red Sea, okay? You can see it like that. So, find something beautiful to behold each day. Find something that allows you to connect with that spiritual energy. Tomorrow had a wonderful meditation this morning on being in your garden, the garden of your life, enjoying walking through the peacefulness of your garden of life. Because your life is a garden. We have planted what is growing. But take some time to be in nature, to observe the flowers. Take time to smell the roses. Because I don't want to look back and wish that I had. I don't want to look back and go, I wish I had spent more time in the garden. Or feeding the birds on my veranda. Or fill in the blank, what it is for you. There is something that you know is your connection, standing in the backyard, in your spirit circle, or whatever it is for you. Everybody has something, and if you don't, create something. And it's as easy as stepping outside. You don't have to have an elaborate garden. You can just step outside and look for nature. And the wonderful music called Landscape. That gave me such great visuals, hearing your music and thinking landscapes. I just saw desertscapes and sunsets and sunrises and all that beauty that comes up before us. What is yours? What is the beauty of your life? What gives you eternal, loving kindness? Because it is in that mode where we soften, where we are not so rigid with condemnation or judgment or fill in the blank. We must soften ourselves. Just take a step back and observe and look past the challenge to the gift that it brings. Random acts of kindness. Where can you practice random acts of kindness? Next time you go to get your latte, pay for the person's latte behind you. Just say, hey, here's $3 towards their coffee. Something like that. Or if you're in line for a concert, pay for the person's parking behind you. Yeah, it's $20. That makes it $40 for you to park. But just watch what happens. Yeah, parking has gone up at concerts. They don't include that in the price of the ticket anymore. They're like, oh, you got to. But little things like that can really change this landscape that we call home. This consciousness that we live in of rigid, sharp-edged criticism and judgment. When we look to peace and love, our world becomes peaceful and loving. That's the way it works. So, in conclusion, eternal, forever loving kindness is what you have been given by our Creator. Whatever you believe is your idea of the infinite, you have been given the greatest gift called life and decision. You get to decide what your favorite color is, how you spend your time, how you spend your money, how you spend your love. But you will never outspend the universe. The universe has an inexhaustible amount. I've come to the frightening conclusion that I am the deceptive element. It is my personal approach that creates this climate. It is my daily mood that makes the weather. I possess tremendous power to make life miserable or joyous. I can be a tool of torture or an instrument of inspiration. I can humiliate or I can humor. I can hurt or I can heal. In all situations, it is my response that decides whether a crisis is escalated or de-escalated, and a person is humanized or dehumanized. If we treat people as they are, we make them worse. If we treat people as they ought to be, we help them become what they are capable of becoming. So it is. Amen.